Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to Career Launcher. My name is Naveen, and today we'll be looking at MICAT level QADI questions. And this is part two of this particular exam series. Okay. So, MICAT is going to happen, MICAT-II is going to happen on 25th of January. So, we will see what kind of questions they give, what is the level of difficulty. Okay. So, starting with that, let's start with the first question. So R and S, two friends, have some red and yellow balls with them, respectively. So R has red and S has yellow. R triples every red ball in 10 seconds and S doubles every yellow ball in 10 seconds. If after a minute there were total 1049 red and yellow balls, how many balls were there initially? So I would like you guys to give this a try. Let me know in the chat which option do you guys think is the answer. Okay, so if you look at R, if he has, let's say, R red balls initially, so it doubles, every red ball will get triples, sorry, every 10 seconds. And we are talking about after a minute. After a minute, that would mean after 60 seconds. So initially, if it was R red balls, so what will happen is it will become 3R after 10 seconds. Now, 3R, each one of those will further become 3R. So that would mean that we will have, after 20 seconds, we will have a total of 9R. So basically, if you look at red balls by R, it was R initially, right? And then it becomes 3R. Then it becomes 9R. So it's getting tripled, right? So later on, it is going to become 27R. Later on, it's going to become 81R. So this is at the end of 10 seconds. This is at the end of 20 seconds, at the end of 30 seconds, at the end of 40 seconds. It will again triple and it will become 243R. Right? So this is at the end of 50 seconds. And then it will triple. And this is going to become 729R, which is at the end of 60 seconds. Now, similarly, if you look at the yellow balls, so S has got yellow balls, so it doubles, right? So Y will become 2Y, and thereafter each Y will give us 2Y. So after 20 seconds, we are going to have a total of 4Y, and this series continues. So we have Y balls, it becomes 2Y, then it becomes 4Y, so it's getting doubled. Same 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds later, this becomes 8Y, doubles, it becomes 16Y, doubles, it becomes 32Y, doubles, and it becomes 64Y, right? So basically 729R plus 64Y has to be equal to 1049 balls overall, right? So if you look at this, R cannot be more than 1, because if R is going to be more than 1, total number of red balls itself will be more than 1049. So R has to be 1. So if we subtract from there, we will have 64y is equal to uh, 320. So y is going to give us 5. So there was one red ball initially and 5 yellow balls initially. So total number of balls initially were 6. So B becomes our answer. So this is not sum of a GP. This is basically the exponential series that we are getting, right? Okay. Next one. Let's see what answer do you guys get. In how many ways can four friends be seated on 10 different chairs in a row? So you'll find that questions in MICAT, they are, kind of straightforward when it comes to PNC. And sometimes, instead of using any formula or equations straight away, try to figure out by putting in values. So, brute force approach. Okay, Rohit. Chanchal, I think you made some mistake. So the first friend will have 10 options, the next friend will have 9 options, the next friend will have 8 options, and the next one will have 7, right? So this is going to result in a value. Now, um, whether you are good with the multiplication or not, I don't know, but how to go ahead and figure out which of the options will make sense. Looking at this, we can see that the answer should be the value we are going to get should be a multiple of 10, which all the options are. There should also be a multiple of 9. Now, multiple of 9 would mean that there should be the sum of the digits should be a multiple of 9. So 7 plus 2 is, 1 plus 8 is, 3 plus 8 is not, 5 plus 4 is, right? Next, looking at 7, we can see that the number should be divisible by 7, out of which 720 is not, 1080 is not. So 108 is not a multiple of 7, 72 is not a multiple of 7. So we're left with 5040. Or you can straight away calculate this. 8 into 7 is 56. 56 into 10 is 560. 560 into 10 is 5600. So 560 into 9 should be less than 5600. So around 5000-ish. The only option that makes sense is option D. So basically, do not solve until the last step. Do some approximation. Use the logic that final answer should be multiple of the prime numbers, and so on and so forth. Another way to represent this is whichever is the larger number becomes the superscript or n. P, the smaller number becomes your subscript, which is called r. 10p4 is another way of representing the same calculation. Okay, next one. Hi Rohit, this is helpful for CMAT as well. The level of difficulty doesn't differ by a lot. Some of the questions in MICAT may be of higher level difficulty as compared to CMAT. Some, not all. So the investments of A and B are rupees 5,000 and rupees 6,000 respectively. A takes rupees 50 as monthly salary for running the business, and the remaining profit is divided based on the investments. If A got a total of rupees 450, then how much does B get in the total profit? Anyone? Okay. So since the investments are made as 5,000 and 6,000, so basically the ratio of their investments are in the ratio of 5x and 6x for A and B. Now A also gets 50 rupees extra, right? So the total that A gets is 450. This is the total, which includes the monthly salary he's supposed to get. So 5x plus 50 is 450. So how much should 6x be, right? So 5x plus 50 is 450. So that would mean 5x is equal to 400. So how many times is that? So 5 into what will give us 40 or 400? It's going to be 80 times. So if 5x results in 400, that is 80 times. So 6x will become also 80 times because these are in ratios, right? So 8 into 6 is 48. So answer is 480. Option B becomes our answer. That's it, right? Don't have to write ratio or write down the fraction. You simply have to compare. That's wherein ratios are very handy and very easy to solve. Okay, DI questions. So basically, the DI question may be a proper graph based or it may be a language based, which will have further 3, 4, 5 questions associated with them. So this is the DI set where we have got 4 to 8 questions, that is 5 questions in one part. So the statement says a metal weighs 1500 kg per cubic meter and another metal weighs 2500 kg per cubic meter. These two metals are mixed to form an alloy. So find the weight of 5 cubic meters of an alloy formed by mixing 40% of the first metal and 60% of the second metal. And we have similar questions. So suppose this is the first metal, which is 1 cubic meter. Its weight is 1500 kg. And the another metal that we have is the volume is same, as in it looks identical when you see it in front of you. Okay, the cube, it looks identical because their measurement, their volume is same, 1 meter cube. But it weighs basically more than that. It's heavier. So when we are asked, we need to find the weight of 5 cubic meters of an alloy by mixing 40% of the first metal and 60% of the second metal, right? So we need to find out what will be its weight. So here, 40% and 60%, that means out of 5, 2 is your 40%, and out of 5, 3 is your 60%. So basically, if you look at the denominator, it tells us that there are a total of 5 blocks. Out of those 5 blocks, 2 blocks are of first metal and 3 blocks are of second metal. So visually, people who are not comfortable with this cubic meter or density and weight associated, what it means is we are supposed to take 3 blocks of the first metal, and then we are supposed to take 2 blocks of the second metal. So that's what we mean by sorry, it's 2 blocks of the first metal and 3 blocks of the second metal. Okay, so obviously the weight that we are looking at is going to be the sum of the weights. So since it weighs 1500 kg for 1 block, so this is going to be 2 times of 1500 kg. And the next one, it weighs 2500 kg, 2500. So it's going to be 3 such blocks. So it's going to be 3 times of 2500. This will be the total weight of this mix of blocks. So this is 1500 into 2 is 3000, and 2500 into 3 is 7500. So this is going to give us 10,500, which results in C option as the answer. Okay, so this is how you have to visualize. If I straight away write down the equation, I'm not sure if people who did not have interest in science will be able to understand this, though it's not basically science. It's a common thing that if you take 1 liter Bisleri bottle, which is empty, if you put in water, it will weigh around 1 kg. But instead of water, if you put in, let's say, oil, it will weigh less than 1 kg because oil is lighter. Okay. Second, as in fifth question, in what proportion, as in what should be the ratio in which both the metals should be mixed to form an alloy of equal weights of both the metals? So this is basically allegation approach, right? So if 1500 kg is the weight of the first metal, and if we put in f kg, this should be equal to 2500 kg के block का a total of second type, where F stands for the fraction of metal of first type, and S stands for fraction of total metal of the second type. So we need to find out the ratio or the fraction. So F by S is going to be simply 2500 out of 1500. They both are divisible by 500. So it becomes 5 by 3, or basically 5:3. So B becomes our answer, right? Okay. Sixth one. If 5 cubic meters of the first metal, if we take 5 cubic meters of the first metal, so that's going to be 5 into 1500 kg. This is the weight. Is mixed with 1 cubic meter of the second metal. So if we take 1 cubic meter of the second metal, so its weight is going to be added to it, right? So the total weight that we will find is going to be 5 into 1500, 7500 plus 2500, that's 10,000 kg. So this is 7500 kg, and this one is 2500 kg. Total 10,000. So we are asked then what percentage is the weight of the second metal. So what percentage is this? 2500 is what percentage of 10,000? So it's basically the fraction 2500 upon 10,000. So which will result in 25%. Right? Straightforward. You just need to understand and don't be scared of the language or the terms used, even though you may not be familiar with such kind of units. Okay, what about the next two? So what I'll do is I'll give you guys 3 minutes to solve both. They are straightforward. Let's see who can get both the answers correct. Seventh is relatively easier as compared to eighth. Eighth will require some changes in the base of the question. So they have changed the density. Okay. So if 6,000 kg of the first metal, if you're talking about 6,000 kg of the first metal, we are saying that there are going to be 4 cubic meter of the first metal that we are using, right? This is, of course, the volume. To form an alloy having 60% of the second metal by volume. So a 4 meter cube, if this represents 40%, so 60% of the second alloy, this should represent 6 meter cube, right? Then the volume of the alloy is going to be how much? 4 meter cube plus 6 meter cube, 10 cubic meters, or 10 meter cube, same thing, right? Okay. If the weight of the first metal was 2000 kg per cubic meter, so instead of 1500, it has been made to 2000, okay? And the weight of the second metal remains unchanged. So we have two categories, just like the previous questions. So first and second, so we have got the volume and then we have got the weight. So if you're talking about the first one, if we talk about per meter cube, it weighs 2000 kg. Second metal weight, it remains 2500 kg, right? And the alloy contains 25% of the first metal by volume. So 25% of the first, volume wise. Okay, so this is per volume. Then find the volume of the second metal in the alloy. So we need to find what percentage of volume do we have in the second alloy. Excuse me. It is given that the weight of the first metal in the alloy is 10,000 kg. So this is represented at 10,000 kg. Okay. So if you look at the weight of 1 meter cube and the total weight that we have taken for the first metal, so we can see that 1 meter cube, if it weighs 2000 kg, or vice versa, 2000 kg of metal occupies 1 meter cube, then 5 times of that, that is 10,000 kg, will occupy 5 meter cube of volume. Now, this 5 meter cube of volume is represented as 25% of total volume, right? So, the second one is going to be 75% of the total volume. Right? So, how many meter cube should this be? So the relationship here is, if you look at the numbers 5 and 25, it's 5 times of that. So we have to come up with a value whose 5 times becomes 75. So it's 15 into 5 that results in 75. So the volume of the second metal in the alloy is going to be 15 meter cube, which is 75% of the total volume. So 15 cubic meters, B option is our answer. Right? Straightforward. So if you guys have any queries related to the level of difficulty of QADI, or what to do on the exam day, how should we prepare, please feel free to ask. If you do not have any query right now, you can later on post the query in the comment section below. So I'll wait for a few seconds for you guys to ask any question if you have. None? Well, thank you. Thank you for joining. I hope these small sessions of 8, 10, 12 questions, it helps you keep motivated, and you guys are consistently preparing. You get to know new types of questions. That's what all we want you guys to do. Okay. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it with your friends. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.